Welcome, the Gamer Man's Lounge. Awaken to play.
Gaming of today is taking a crap. Might as well step back and go retro. Video game preservation is a big damn deal. All the games you missed out in the past. Let's take a look at all the treasures on carts and discs. Maybe someone will bring them to today for a second chance. But hey, this is Insert Channel Name here, and welcome to the archival of games of the past. Let's go retro with video game classics. Just so you know, I had to go through the mental gymnastics of coming up with this intro. So for crying out loud, please appreciate it. In terms of how are things going with you, I hope things are going well. As for me, that's right, a video game classics. And of course, today's video game classic we're going to be taking a look at is, of course, an arcade puzzle game by Jaleco. Now, I keep pronouncing Jaleco, but it is what it is. And yeah, I have a habit, and I will break that habit pretty soon. So, yes. But anyway, now, Jaleco did made a puzzle game, and of course, it is not Tetris Plus. Yes, Jaleco is known for Tetris Plus, but however, Jaleco is known for a unique original IP that is also a puzzle game. Let's take a look. Another day, another marathon puzzler game that seems to be interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Soldam. Soldam is basically a Jaleco arcade puzzle game that made its debut on arcades, but however, upon investigation, its only home console release was on Game Boys. The puzzle game was given a retro revival that is basically available on Nintendo Switch and also on PlayStation 4. However, we're going to be taking a look at the classic arcade game that is basically now being re-released on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4 under Arcade Archives, thanks to Hamster. Now, how to play this game is pretty much tough to pretty much explain. It is kind of weird. Now, how this works is that you have color-changing puzzle pieces where you're aiming for line clears, and yes, it is a marathon puzzler. Now, I will go ahead and say this. Now, two pieces of the same color, if they're pretty much across them, even up, down, left, right, or diagonally, any puzzle piece in between them will be transformed into the same color. And like I said again, you're aiming for line clears. Now, as you do make a line clear, you do wind up making a color default, which basically that line that you just made ends up getting moved over to the very bottom of the screen, and that is set as the target color. However, should one piece end up highlighting across into a puzzle piece in that very bottom box, that default color lineup gets erased out. This is something you're gonna want to be careful about, because when it comes to like building the highest combo, yeah, it could pretty much screw your ass up. Like I said, combos basically involve lines being cleared out simultaneously, kind of similar to how line clears work in Tetris. However, the highest combo that I have gotten was basically fantastic. However, in the beginning of the game, you work with 2 colors, but however, later on, you end up getting 3 colors and 4 colors, and the game will eventually speed up on you, so be very careful about that. Of course, I am talking about the arcade run. However, there is another mode, which is basically the game's campaign mode, which is basically on Sekiro mode, which is, like I said, a campaign mode where you basically, you have these forest creatures, which you end up competing with, and these creatures will do at any means necessary to probably screw your butt over, because they're pretty much given the tools to do so. However, you are given extra types of puzzle pieces that may pretty much help you out. Also, be sure to collect letters and make sure it ends up spelling extra. Shall you collect all the letters and have it spell extra, you'll end up summoning the Great Pixie that will help clean the board up for you and will give you a gigantic score bonus. Now, so far as I did progress further in that campaign mode, I was given like 2 colors to work with, red and blue, and have yet to receive like an additional color to work with. However, the goal in mind here is to basically complete level 60. Then, however, you'll get like an ending and you'll end up clearing the campaign. However, if you want to go as far as you can go, just go to the regular arcade mode that Soldam has. Also, for 2 players, Soldam has a versus mode where player 1 collects red and player 2 collects blue, and of course, the highest amounts of combos will send more fairies to your opponents to screw over your opponent. Also, the next bar is pretty much shared between you and your opponent. However, best of 3 wins. Now, I did go ahead and do a little test run of the versus mode by playing by myself when it came to the versus mode. There was nobody else picking up the controller for player 2. It was just basically me, and I was doing experimentations with what would happen if you would pretty much score the highest combo, and like I said, you need to score 2 or above. Oh yes, and Soldam's combos basically involve highest number of simultaneous line clears, so that's basically to go throughout the campaign mode, the arcade run, or the versus mode. I will go ahead and say it. This game is hard to master, but as you get the hang of it, as you start scoring higher and getting further, as you're starting pretty much score like the biggest amounts of lines cleared simultaneously, it ends up becoming very satisfying as you begin to get the hang of it, and you end up eventually having more of a good time. And another thing to keep in mind, this game is really, really addicting. Like, I'm serious, it is really addicting. The presentation, going from the graphic design into pretty much the puzzle pieces and how the game ends up getting structured and the UIs, it looks fantastic throughout. And boy, oh boy, it is just wonderful. And oh yes, the music. Don't even get me started on the music of Soldam, because the music is so goddamn catchy, addicting, fun to listen to. It makes you want to just listen to them on your iPod or your MP3 player or whatever. Soldam is a surprisingly interesting puzzle game that is pretty much fun to play as soon as you end up mastering it. And yes, it is an odd game to pretty much get the gist of, also as much as pretty much to try and describe how this game works. But however, you just get a fantastic soundtrack. I love the music of Soldam, and it was just, I got addicted to the tunes. The presentation's fantastic, and of course, when it comes to the campaign modes that you get for Soldam, it is pretty much fantastic. Soldam is a game that is definitely something that's worth your curiosity, and as somebody who has played the new retro revival, the retro remake, and then ended up anticipating for a long time to find a way to play the arcade version of the game, I completely noticed that, wow, I love the arcade version of the game. It is fantastic, and I don't understand why did it ever never bother to get ported to like Sega Genesis or SNES. The only thing that happened was a Game Boy version, and that's just it. But holy crap, is Soldam a fantastic puzzle game by Jaleco. But hey, on the bright side, the arcade version of the game can be pretty much revisited by those who own a Nintendo Switch and a PlayStation 4. And absolutely go check this game out. And that is Soldam. Now, the remake is very, very different compared to the original arcade version. Like, I got thrown off by, like, this one thing that was pretty much new to me in the arcade version. But as soon as I got the groove back, as soon as I figured that stuff out, figure out what the heck was going on, I mean, I got the groove going, and of course, I had a blast playing the original arcade classic, but I will go ahead and play more of the remake and look for more differences, between this and the original arcade version, and we probably might go ahead in the future take a look at the remake, and yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, that is all, and I will be looking forward to you in the next video. Peace out. This is nothing but a video product made by a fellow gamer man. Ayo!